Hello, Ashwati. Welcome. Hello. Okay. Sure. Can you see the screen? Screen കാണാമോ? Okay. എല്ലാവരും 5 to 8 minutes ലേറ്റ് ആണ് എല്ലാ ദിവസവും. ടൈം ടേബിളിൽ സമയം തരുന്നില്ലേ? അപ്പൊ നേരത്തെ കയറണ്ടേ? ഹലോ. Ashwati, please tell others to join soon. തിയറി പോർഷൻസ് ആണ്. നിങ്ങൾ ശ്രദ്ധിച്ച് കേട്ടിരുന്നാലേ പറ്റുള്ളൂ. കാരണം പ്രോബ്ലംസ് ഒന്നും ഇല്ല ഈ സബ്ജക്റ്റിൽ. 5th മോഡ്യൂൾ വരുമ്പോൾ എന്തെങ്കിലും 1-2 ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻസ് കാണും. നിങ്ങൾ നേരത്തെ പഠിച്ച ഷെഡ്യൂളിംഗ് അൽഗോരിതം 1-2 പ്രാവശ്യം യൂണിവേഴ്സിറ്റി ചോദിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ട്. ബാക്കി എല്ലാം തിയറിയാണ്. അനുശ്രീ താമസിച്ചെന്താ?
മിസ് ഞാൻ ചാർജ് വെച്ചതേനു ഫോണ്, അതാ ലേറ്റ് ആയിട്ട്.
രാത്രിയിൽ വെക്കാറില്ലേ?
ഇല്ല മിസ്സേ.
നൈറ്റ് വെച്ച് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഫുൾ ചാർജിൽ രാവിലെ എടുക്കാൻ പറ്റില്ല?
ആ മിസ്സേ.
ജിതിന എന്താ ലേറ്റ്? 7 minutes past 8:50. Okay, I'm going to present my screen. Hope you can see the screen. So yesterday we were discussing about the different types of files generated during cross compilation or during cross assembling process. And we had discussed what is cross compilation. And that is there is a cross compiler installed on your machine which supports embedded product development, and this cross compiler will generate an object code that can run on another processor. It runs on our PC where there is one processor, but this compiler will generate an object code for another processor. So that is called cross-platform independence. So or cross-platform development. Now here, once the cross-compilation process is done, there are various output files generated. And mainly, there are 5 types of files generated during cross-compilation. First of all, we have the list file. The first file is the list file with .lst extension. So this file can be identified using all files have extensions, and this LST file has the extension .lst, and this file is generated during cross compilation process, and it contains certain information. So what are the information that are usually stored in a list file is what is listed here. Okay, can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me? Okay. So, what are the information that a list file usually contains after the cross compilation process? So, this is the first kind of file generated. There are many files generated, out of which we are discussing about the list file, and the information contained in the list file includes cross compiler details. I said the cross compiler depends on the target processor for which we are going to write the firmware. So there are different cross compilers available, and the details of the cross compiler will be there in the list file. So if you want to know which cross compiler that we are using, just open the list file and see the cross compiler details. Then you have the formatted source text. The source text, if you are writing it in C code, then the source text area will contain the C code that you are going to, that you had written. So C is a language that supports embedded program development. It has a cross compiler support. So you can write code using C language. Then list file also contains the assembly code generated from the source file. The source file is written in C language. The formatted source file, it is written in C code, and after cross compilation, the list file will contain the assembly code generated from the source file. So it contains the original source file, then also, and below that there will be the assembly code generated from the source file. Then you have the simple tables to store the various tokens used in the program. Then if there is any error during compilation, you can see the errors and warnings detected in this list file. The list file will contain the errors and warnings detected during the cross compilation process. So these are the main information that we get from a list file. So that is, I'll repeat once more, please listen carefully. The list file generated after cross compilation will contain the cross compiler details. If you are going to write the C code for 8051 microcontroller, then the cross compiler listed will be C51 and the details, the version of that compiler. Then it contains the formatted source text, the source file that is usually written in C. The formatted source file, the source code written in C, then it will contain, since we have completed the compilation process, this file is generated after compilation, so it will contain the assembly code generated from the source file. Then it will list all the special symbols that have been used in the program. There's the symbol table, then the form of a table, and then there will be the error and warning messages detected during cross compilation. These are the information usually stored in a list file. Okay. Is it clear to you? So what are the information stored in a list file? List file is generated as a result of cross compilation process. If you had written a program in C, you will get an output after cross compilation. One of the files generated will be the list file. There are around 5 important files generated after cross compilation, out of which one of the file that is generated is the list file. So, and I said there are certain information that you will get if you open and see the list file. And what are the information contained in the list file? Can anyone say what are the information which are usually found in the list file? Anyone? Okay, there will be cross compiler details, then there will be the C code, then the source text or the C code, then after that errors and warnings will be there. Yes, then there, after the source code, after compilation, you will get assembly code. So after the source code, there will be the assembly code, then all the special symbols as a symbol table, and then the errors and warning messages generated. So these are the 5 important things that you will get from a list file, 5 important information that you can see in a list file. Okay, is it clear to you? Suppose if the question is, what is a list file? What is the importance of list file? Once it was asked by university question, you have to write all these points. Okay. Then, now, as we know, it will give the cross-compiler details, and the list file generated, it depends on the cross-compiler that we are using. So list file is generated as a result of cross-compilation process, and so the list file contents depends on the cross-compiler that we are using. There are different cross-compilers. We said earlier, there is Keil, from Keil software, you have the C51 cross-compiler, and for 8051 microcontroller. And so the list file depends, the information contained in the list file, it depends on the cross compiler that we are using. Now, let us consider an example of a C code that is written in embedded C. This is a simple C code, and after cross compilation, what are the results that we get from this C code? So consider the cross compilation process of the following file named, the file is named as sample.c. This is a C code, and we are going to write it in the Keil software. We are going to compile it using the cross compiler for generated by the Keil IDE. So I'm going to open this Keil IDE. There is an editor in the Keil IDE for writing the code. I'm writing the C code, and then I'm compiling it. So it will, the cross compiler in the provided by the Keil IDE will generate the list file. So what are the contents listed corresponding to this particular C code? Let us just go to an example. So you know this program code. Hope you understand what this code means. Hash include stdio.h. I have included the header file. What is stdio.h? What is stdio.h? What is the expansion of stdio? Anyone? What is the expansion of stdio? When you write a C program, the first line is standard input output. So you're going to include a header file, and this header file will contain all the library functions that support input output operation like the printf, scanf, etc. These are all written inside that header file named stdio, and we are going to use printf and scanf. So if we want to use these functions, we have to include the header file which contains the definitions of those functions. So you have stdio.h as the first line, which is a preprocess. Hash include is a preprocessor directive. Then it is a directive to the preprocessor, directions to the preprocessor to include this header file. Then you have the void main. Int is the return type of function. Then void main, we are not passing any arguments to the main function. Then I had printed a statement, hello world, printf hello world. Only one statement I have written inside this program, and now I am going to compile this program in Keil IDE, and the list file generated will contain the following sections. What are the sections that we usually get inside a list file? That is, the first section will be the page header, which includes the compiler details. So then the section that includes the compiler details is called the page header. The page header indicates the compiler version. As I said earlier, we get the compiler details from the list file. So the compiler details are obtained from the section called the page header section. And in this section, it will contain the compiler version number, then the source file name, date, time, and page number. So it is in this format that you will get C51 compiler. The type of compiler that we are using, C51 is the cross compiler for 8051 microcontroller, then its version number, then the name of the source code. As I said earlier, we are going to write a program named sample.c. So that name will be listed here. Then the date in which you have compiled it, then the time and the page number of pages. Okay, so this is the first section of the list file, the page header, which gives us the compiler details. Along with the compiler details, we get certain additional information like the version of the compiler, the source code name, then the date of creation, time of creation, and the page number. These are the details that we get in the page header of the list file. The first section of the list file gives you this information, and then below that you get the command line. Command line represents the entire command line used for invoking the compiler. So once you click on the IDE to compile the program, there will be a sequence of commands generated by the cross compiler. Those commands will be listed in this section. So command line will include the commands for invoking the compiler. Then next you have the source code. Source code is the code that you have written, but along with that code you will get the line numbers on each line. We haven't written any line number here. In this, we are just writing a C program here, but in the list file generated, it will list the source code along with the line number for each line. So source code will list along with the source code inside the list file. You will get line number for the source code on each line. Then it also includes the comments on the source code. If we had written any comments in the source file, that will also be listed in this section. Then the entire contents of all include files will be there. That is, we have included the header file stdio. So all those files which we want will be listed there in this section. The entire contents of the include files, whichever files we have included, will be listed there. And these listing it will happen based on the cross compiler directives. The cross compiler itself will generate and include all these files. So that is the third section, source code. Then you have the assembly listing. So as I said earlier, we will get in a list file, we have cross compiler details, then you have the source code details, then you have the assembly code details. So assembly code details will be listed in the assembly listing section. So these are the different sections, and from each of these sections we get different information. Section is nothing but we are dividing an entire code into different units, and each section will give us certain information. So in the assembly listing section, you get the assembly code generated by the cross compiler. Now we said earlier we will get the assembly code in a list file, and that will be generated in the assembly listing section of the list file. You get the assembly code generated by the cross compiler for the C code. And if you want to exclude this assembly listing, it can be done using special compiler directives. You can use special directives in your program, and you can exclude this from your list file if you are using compiler directives in your program. Then you have the simple listing. As I said, there is the simple table information obtained from the list file. So the next section is the simple table listing. And simple table, it contains symbolic information about the various symbols present in the cross-compiled source file. You have written a source file. What are the various symbols in that source file? That will be there in this section. And this simple listing section, it contains the following subsections. These are the subsections included in the simple table section. These subsections are there in the simple table section. Okay. Hope you can understand what I am saying. So what are the sections in a list file? What are the sections? We said we get certain information from the list file, and these informations, you said all the information which we will get from the list file, and these informations, they will be listed in different sections in the list file. So we are speaking about what are the different sections that are listed in the that are found in the list file, and what each section, what information we get from each section. So what was the first section that we discussed in the list file? What was the first section? Page header. Okay. From the page header, what we will get? From the header section, what will we get? What information do we get? What information do we get from the page header? Okay. Okay, compiler version. So we said earlier, list file will give us the information about the compiler. So apart from the compiler version, we get the date, time, source file name, and the page number, etc. These will be obtained from the page header section of the list file. So we are speaking about different sections in the list file. The first section is the page header section. The list file's first section is the page header section. And this will give us the compiler details. And the second section, what is the second section? It is the command line section. It is the command line section, and this will give us the command that is used for invoking the cross compiler. Since we are using an IDE, we are not aware of the command that is used for compilation process. We are just clicking the command compile button, and internally the command is generated. And if you want to see what the command is generated, then you have to go to the list file and look at this section. You will get the command that has been used for invoking the compiler. Okay. Is it clear? We are not writing any commands since we are running it on an IDE. We are just using mouse to compile our program, but internally there will be commands generated. And if you want to see what was the command used for invoking the compiler, then you can go to the list file and look at the command section. Okay. Is it clear? Is it clear to you? Okay. So command line will represent the entire command line used for invoking the compiler. Then you have the third section of the list file. It is the source code section. And in the source code section, what do you get in the source code section? What do you get in the source code section? You had written a C program and you have compiled the program. You are getting an output file, the list file. Inside the list file, you have various information, and this information is stored in different sections. The first section was the header. Then you had the command line section. Then the third section is the source code section. What is the source code section? What do you get from this section? Okay, from the source code section, you will get the entire source code. Whatever source code you have written will be printed there, will come there in that list file. The list file will, the code will be automatically stored in the list file. Not only the source code, but you will get the line number for each source line, each line of your code. We are not writing any line number when we are writing a C program, but inside the list file, it will clearly list the line number of your code. For each line, it will get you will get the line number and the source code. Yes, the line number and the source code will be there. Then it outputs the source code section will give us the line number and the source code on that line. Then also it includes the commands in the source file. If you had written any commands, like if I am going to write a program and here I am going to include a command line here in this section, like the C program to print hello world. If I have written a command, then not command. If I have written a comment is different from a command. Commands are just instruction, comments are notes. So if I included comments in the source file, this comment will be there included in this section. Then you get the entire contents of all include files. Here I have included only one header file. If I am writing #include console.io, conio.h, then those contents will also be included in the, or if I am including #include graphics.h, all these header files which I had included will be listed there in the source code section. So the entire contents of all the include files will be included by special cross compiler directives. So this is the source code section. So in the source code section, you will get the line numbers for each source code you had written. It includes the comments that you had written. Then it includes all the header files that you had, the entire contents of the include files that you had written. And so these are the information that you get from the source code section. Then after the source code section, in the list file, you will have the assembly listing. And what is assembly listing? What do you get from this section? Assembly listing. What do you get from assembly listing section? Inside the list file, you have the next section, the assembly listing section. What do you get from this section? Hello? Anyone? This file is generated after cross-compilation, isn't it? After cross-compilation, the source code is converted to a low-level language, and usually the first process is conversion to assembly code. So, corresponding to the source code that you had written, you will get the assembly code which has been generated by the cross-compiler. So, after cross-compilation, this file is generated. So, this assembly code generated by the cross-compiler will be listed in the assembly section. You can, if you view the contents of this file, you can see the assembly code, like whatever you had written here, this high corresponding to this high-level language program, there will be corresponding assembly code for 8051. Since we are using 8051, the instruction set of 8051 will be listed here. So, a assembly listing, it contains the assembly code generated by the cross compiler for the corresponding C code. And if you want to exclude this assembly listing, then you can use compiler directives here. If you use special compiler directives, then you can exclude this section. Then the next section in the list file is the symbol listing. As we said earlier, the information there, you have simple table information obtained from the list file. You will get the compiler details, formatted source text, the formatted source text, because we call it as formatted source text because line numbers are included and source information, certain additional information is obtained from the corresponding C code. Then assembly code generated. Then next you have the simple table information, and simple table information will be listed in the simple listing section of the list file. Simple listing section, it will contain symbolic information about the various symbols that you have used in your program after compiling your source code, and it contains the following. The simple listing section, it contains the following subsections. So what are the sections that are included in the simple listing section? So these are the main important sections that you get in the symbol table. That is the name of the symbol that you have used in your program. Then the class, that is the class to which this particular name belongs. Like it can be special function register, it can be a structure, it can be a type definition, it can be a static variable or a public, auto, extern, storage. So these are the storage classes in C. Auto, static, storage, and extern are the storage classes in C. You might have studied storage classes in C. How a particular variable is stored in your program, and there are different classes for storing variables, that is, we call it as storage classes, and different storage classes include auto, static, storage, and extern. So to which class does this symbol belong will be listed there in the symbol table information. Then you have M space is the memory space for the code or the data that you want to use in your program. M space represents memory space for the code that you are going to write or the data that you are going to use. Then the type subsection will give you the data type of the symbol that you are going to use. If there is a symbol, it will give the data type of the symbol that you have been used, and data type includes the int, char, procedure, call, etc. It will give us what type this symbol is. If you have defined a function name like sum, then it will be included in the procedure call type. Then there is the offset section, and this offset section, it will give us the memory address from where your code starts. Your code will start from a particular memory location. So the code memory start address will be stored in the offset section, from where we are not aware of all these. We are just compiling the code, but internally, if you want to see where your code resides in memory, then you can open the list file and look at the offset section. It will give you the address of the memory location from where your code begins. Then next is the size of this particular symbol that you are using. It will give us the size in bytes. So the simple listing in the list file, this output, the simple listing output. This is listed in the symbol table, and if you don't want to list all this, it can be turned on or off by using cross compiler directives. If you don't want to see this simple listing, then you can turn it off by using compiler directives. So these are the sections that are included in the symbol listing. So we said from the list file we get symbol table information, and that symbol table information is listed in the symbol listing section of the list file, and it contains the following subsections like the name, class, namespace, type, offset, and size of the symbol that you are going to use, that you have used in the program. If there are multiple symbols, it will be listed as a table. Like this is the format of the symbol table. This is the format. You have the name, the class, namespace, type, offset, and size as the headers. And under this, it is listed as a table. The first, if you are using, there is a size underscore t. Then it gives the class is type def. If you're going to define a size function, then it belongs to the class type def. Memory is not defined. Then you have unsigned, its type is unsigned int. Then the size of the symbol used is 2 bytes. Then you have the main, another symbol called the main that is used in your program, and this is a public, it belongs to public class. The memory space is code, the space of the code corresponding to the code space. Then the type is procedure. Since it is a function, its type is procedure, and it starts at 0000h, memory location starting address of the function. Then you have used another name called printf. The printf class is extern. Since we are including it from a header file, its class is extern. We are importing it from another file, so its class is extern. Then it needs memory space. Since it's a procedure, it needs memory space. So code space is the code space required. Then procedure, since it is a function, it comes under the type procedure. And already it's the offset address is all defined in the header file, so we don't get the information here. So this is the symbol table, and these are the symbol names, and for corresponding to each symbol name, we can define its class, its memory space, its type, offset, and size. So these are the informations that we get in the symbol table listing of the list file. So can anyone say what are the informations that we get from the simple list table listing section of the list file? What are the information that we get from the simple table listing of the list file? Okay, name, class, memory space. Then name means the name of the symbol that we are going to use. If main is a symbol, main is the name. So for corresponding to the name, you get the simple name as main. Here we have listed here. The name is, suppose the name is main, then you will get the class of the main. Function is a public function. Then the memory space is the code space. Then its type is procedure. Then its starting address is 00h, the offset address is 00h, and size is undefined because it's a user-defined function, it's not a predefined function, so its size is undefined. So this is the simple listing section that we get from the list file generated as a result of cross compilation. Then the next section of the list file is the module information section. It gives us the size of initialized and uninitialized memory areas defined by the source file. If there are certain, this file is generated. When this file is generated, there is no memory locations assigned to the variables. So it provides the size of initialized as well as uninitialized memory areas defined by the source file. If there are any variables which are initialized or uninitialized, or any memory code or any function, any user-defined function which are uninitialized or initialized, you get the memory area defined for these uninitialized symbols. So it provides size of uninitialized and initialized memory areas, and which is there in the source file. Then you have the warnings and errors. Warnings and errors, it gives us a record of the errors that has been generated during cross compilation. If there is any error in your program, encountered in your program, or if there is any warning messages encountered during compilation, this section will give you that error message. And an example of the error listing is shown here. The first it will show which compiler that is being used. So that is C51, name of the compiler is C51. Then if the compilation is complete, it will give us that message, compilation complete. And after that you get 0 warning or warnings, and 0 error or errors. So this is the line that you see in this warnings and error message. If there are no errors, if there are any errors, then it will give us the error and the corresponding message. So if there are certain warnings, which need prompt attention, then that should be considered by the programmer. So warnings and errors. These are the 7 sections that are there in the list file. From these 7 sections, we get the information. These information which we said earlier, we get this information, that is cross-compiler details, source text details, assembly code details, errors and warnings from these different sections. So corresponding to this program, we get each different section will have different entries for this code, and for you to write the assembly code, it is difficult. So just write these. There will be assembly listing section which contains the assembly code. Okay, so there are 7 sections in a list file. It is the list file, I think, which is the most important file, and which can be asked as a separate question for university. Since there are so many information included in the list file, it can be asked as a separate question. What is the use of list file generated after cross compilation? So can anyone say what are the different sections included in a list file? Come on, first. What are the different sections included in a list file? Page header, yes, Ashwati. Then command line. Okay. Didina, command line, then source code. Corresponding to the source code, the next section will have assembly code, isn't it? After the source code section, there is the assembly code section. Okay. Source code, then comes the assembly code. Yeah, I said source code. After source code, after compiling, you get the assembly code that is there in the assembly listing. Then once you get the assembly listing, there will be certain symbols used in your code. So you get that there in the symbol listing. And in the symbol listing, each symbol will have corresponding to each symbol. So this much information is stored. That is the name of the symbol, the class, MSpace, type, offset, and size. Then what are the other information? After the simple table information, you get module information, and then you get errors and warnings. These are the different sections that you can see inside a list file. Okay. Is it clear? Very important section. You have to study what a list file is. You have to study what are the contents of a list file. Write it carefully with this example. Okay. Is it clear? Okay, now we can take your attendance. Number 1. Number 1, Abhilash. Okay. Number 2. Number 5, Ansab. Absent. Ansab undallo. Eating lily. Ansab. Absent. Then number 6. Number 7. Number 8. Number 9. Okay. Okay, number 11, number 12, number 13, number 14, number 14, absent, number 16, okay, number 17, 18, 20, 22, 23, 24, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, number 3, Amal Santosh, number 14, Jason, 14 means ponda ile. Number 5 onda, 5, 5. So number 5 is absent. Answer undallo. Number 5. ഉറങ്ങിയാകും. Answer. So number 5 is absent. Just inform him, okay? Thank you.